Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello people and welcome to MHF. Liverpool are definitely now are the favorites to win the Premier League. Mohamed Salah is the undisputed king of the Premier League. Absolute domination in the location, as Deji says. Not good for Liverpool. And everyone that is saying, of course, the people that don't understand what is going on in the chat when people saying Nafisa win. Just a viewer, one of the long-time viewers, just came on the channel to cook me. He sent a super chat and just came on the show. She's an Arsenal fan. He says I irk her soul when I talk about Arsenal. She doesn't like me criticizing Arsenal. She cooked. Very good debate. We had an absolutely fantastic and an amazing debate. I enjoyed it a lot, to be honest with you. Thank you, Nafisa, for joining us on MHF. Big up the people that joined us from MHF. Hit that like button, people. Support the channel. And let's talk also about Manchester City winning a football game. Finally, yes, away from home. Yes, against Leicester. Party time. They won a game. Phil Foden being hooked, half time, and Oscar Bob. Is it Oscar? No, McAtee.
McAtee, yeah. Oscar Bob still injured.
No. McAtee literally stepping up and showing Foden who's the man. Who's the man in that game? Absolutely showing Foden who's the man. So absolutely fantastic by everyone. And listen, let's start with Manchester City quickly. Actually, before we go to Liverpool, let's start with Manchester City quickly. A lot of people are saying this is the kickstart of the season, this game against Leicester. Does anybody think that? Kelk, you think that?
No, I think it was just one game. But right now we're at one game at a time because, you know, when you win 1-13, you can't really get excited over one victory. Like I thought the Nottingham Forest game was going to be the kickoff, and that clearly wasn't. So I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait and see. I mean, what is it? West Ham next week. You know, we'll see what happens there.
I think what I watched today is a different approach from Pep Guardiola than what I saw before. Completely different approach. Defending deep, protecting the lead, like. It's just a different Pep Guardiola that is clinging. Like, he's like, I got this result 1-0. I'm just sticking to defense at the current moment. And it worked. At the end, it worked because you scored the goal on transition, which is what you've been screaming for. Anybody think that is a footprint now for City?
I don't think they are, man. I don't think there is a footprint. If Leicester had their boots, you know what I mean, like someone like Vardy, who was offside every single time in front of goal, maybe the result would have been different. You know what I mean? When I look at City, I don't see a team that's confident anymore. I don't see a team that's, you know, energetic. They're closing down and things like that anymore. I just see a team that's tired. That's just grinded out the result today. I thought Leicester, if they had a decent finisher in front of goal, they could have got a couple of goals today. I honestly think that.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier. I said if Jamie Vardy was 5 years younger, he probably makes one or two of those chances that he had. But I think the same issues are still there. Like we're terrible in position, and it's because our midfield is garbage. Yeah. And you know, pushing the line back a little bit isn't going to fix that midfield. That midfield, like, there's only one way to fix that midfield, and that's to bring in new players. Unless Rodri is ready to like emerge from the hyperbolic time chamber in like February or March, like brand new. We have nobody who can in that midfield who wins duels, who tackles, gets second ball, does anything even remotely assisting on transitions. And until that gets fixed, I think we're gonna keep seeing problems.
You
a
know
better team today would have won.
You know what it is, Kelk? I don't think you have that fear factor anymore. I don't think team fears you anymore. They play the way they want and they try go for you. You know, like when I used to watch City, everybody was about 5 steps back. You know what I mean? Not like in the front foot. Now they're right up next to your, obviously defense, and they trying to like, win the ball up the field and try to, get attacks going and scoring goals. That's something I've seen about City right now. And it's a worrying sign because when you lose that fear factor, that means every team will be confident against you right now. And that's something
and I think it's all the midfield. Like that midfield is just soft as pudding. Like it's so easy for anybody with even an ounce of quality to cut through it. Like, do we think Leicester have a great midfield? No, but they had no issue at all with ours today. None.
If they had a bit more belief, I think they would have done something in the game. I don't think, they were too busy passing the ball back instead of forward majority of the game. If they had more ambition, I think they would have got more chances and probably scored a couple of goals. In my opinion, that is anyway. And listen, you got the result. I said yesterday, maybe this is the game you're going to win, and you won the game. That's what's important so far. This could be, something that's you could build on. It could be happening. I don't know, but that's something you could build on right now. At least you got something.
Everyone is talking like this season is a write-off for City, actually. Go ahead, Dre.
I mean, it pretty much is. I mean, the area, Fuzzy's right. The area of invincibility has gone. That's not to say it can't come back but I don't think it's going to come back this season because I don't see City recovering to the kind of levels they've shown previously this season. Next season, with a few additions, then it's entirely possible. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if they go into the market and they bring some good players in, they click straight away. Maybe even this season. But I mean, it's a big ask. It's a really big ask.
Yeah.
This is some way off the City we've seen since Pep's been there.
No, but can I ask you something? You said next season. What makes it different next season? Do you think they're going to go and sign like left and right? Like because if the fear factor is gone, okay, Pep loses 20%
anymore, and you bring in better, hungrier players.
City. I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if City spend less than 300 million this summer. I think they're going to go big in the market. I think Arsenal probably going to go big to some extent, and I think Liverpool will also spend a lot of money. I think this summer's going to be really interesting, but City haven't really spent that much money over the last few years.
No.
And I think they had, from the rumours that have come out recently, it seems that they were considering maybe starting this rebuild last summer, but they didn't know what was happening with Pep and all this kind of stuff. So I think they postponed it, and they tried to postpone it for a year and tried to get away with it. And I mean that respectfully, obviously, try and see if they could squeeze one last ounce of another top level season out of some of these players. But unfortunately, that worked for the first quarter of the season, and then since then they've actually been left in a pretty bad situation because it was the middle of the first half of the season and they haven't got any players. And even if they bring players in now in January, it's going to take some time to acclimatise. They have to adjust to Pep style. At best, it might be the last quarter of the season that we may see an upturn, but that's only if City bring in good players and they hit the ground running to some extent. So
I actually don't think that City.
January. Generally, those players don't move in January. It's very difficult.
Exactly.
The names I've heard are not leaving. Like Ederson and Atalanta, they're competing for Serie A. They're not going to let him out.
No.
Bruno Guimaraes, like they're competing for top four.
They can get Champions League football, and this is why Arsenal fans, when they're talking about, oh, maybe let's go for Isak. I mean, if Newcastle get Champions League football, it's going to be very, very difficult for any big team to get players out of there.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I don't know. It's I think Pep, to some extent, because of this situation, Pep to some degree has to be pragmatic. And maybe today was an example of that. It was kind of stark because we played Leicester last game, and even though they went ahead, they didn't get a sniff. And I watched part of the game today, and I thought, oh, damn, Leicester actually play some good football. But ultimately, it was City allowing them to play good football because
they just lacked the quality.
Yeah, they had to take
the right game plan. They just lacked the quality.
Yeah.
I actually don't think City will come back next season.
I mean,
I actually don't think that City under Pep will be as strong as they were before ever again. This is it.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why. the key factors in that team are.
The only reason I'd say that's going to be.
I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised, Rack.
Because the only reason I'd say that may be the case is because he's only got 2 seasons, right? I expect him to probably leave at the end of that contract. I didn't expect him to leave at the end of this contract, but that didn't happen. If you're narrowing down 2 seasons, yeah.
Okay, guys, hit that like button. This is Nafisa that joined us on the stream. Big up, Nafisa. I think I actually enjoyed that debate. Thank you so much, Nafisa, for supporting the channel. Yeah, guys, same for Zayubi. Rack lived in Torino, so he knows that. Hit that like button, people. Let's get to 200 likes, guys. Hit that like button underneath the live chat. Don't slack off. We're starting slow, so hit that like button. We're not even on 100 likes. Like button underneath the live chat. Hit that like button. I'm saying the key factors for Pep's success was always stability.
Yeah.
Was always players that are like Kevin De Bruyne, something out of the bag. A Gundogan, a Mahrez. Huh?
David Silva, company.
David Silva.
Those were all there when he got there.
The problem with this now is that Kevin De Bruyne looks like he is. Can you stop now?
It looks like he's carrying something. It looks like he's carrying something.
Yeah. She's carrying. Yeah, she is.
He's carrying something.
She's an Arsenal fan, and she doesn't like me criticizing Arsenal. But for Juve, that's what you want me to say. I really don't care, Nafisa. I'm not like Osam who refuses to say glory, glory, Man United. I'm just not like that. I don't care. It doesn't stick. I'm old enough to know that it doesn't stick.
Everybody has a price, though.
No, Sam doesn't. I think someone sent $100 to Sam, and he just refused to say it. He had someone else on the channel. No, I don't care. Thank you, Nafisa, so much for the support for the channel. Appreciate you so much. City will spend to clear out the players that is dividing the group. Jay is convinced that there is a division in the dressing room. And they are going to spend 350 million minimum. All thought it would be easier to replace Pep. I'm just going to tell you guys the reality. I don't think they're going to find another Kevin De Bruyne. I just think they're going to find another Riyad Mahrez.
It's like Liverpool will never find another Mo Salah. These are just special players.
Here is the problem. When people say they're going to, here is when people say they're going to spend 300 million. Okay, what is going to happen to Savinho, who's a project for City that he has to come good? What is going to happen to Doku? You spend 50 million on Doku. You're just not going to write that off. What is going to happen to Phil Foden, who has to play at some point? What is going to happen to Oscar Bob?
Well, always
they had this 12, 13 players, and they had the starting wingers. Always, guys. Always
the players you mentioned are part of the rebuild. We're not going to sell Doku and Savio yet. We're going to sell guys like Kyle Walker and Gundogan, and we'll get rid of De Bruyne, and we'll get rid of Bernardo, because they've all been here for like 8 years. And we've gotten the best out of them.
No, I'm talking about
but City have written off £50 million players before. How many fullbacks and goalkeepers do they go through in Pep's first? So that if they're not cutting it, if they're not cutting it, then
but I'm going to tell you why that's not going to happen. You know what is not? I don't think that is not going to happen. The reality is, Pep is not staying as before, Rack. That was the beginning of the project. So they were, yes, we'll get you another fullback and another fullback. City cannot dig the hole themselves, signing another winger, and then you have a Savinho and a Doku and another winger and another winger. They're going to dig a hole for themselves.
Savinho's 30 million, right? It's not a
25, 30, something like that.
Yeah. So like,
are we calling him a flop? It's been like 4 months. It's
it's way too early for that as well.
He's gonna be good, but he's not gonna be a Mahrez. In my opinion, he's not gonna be a Mahrez.
People act like he's some washed up player. He's 20 years old, and this is his second season at like a top level.
He's not washed, but I don't think he's gonna be. People are starting like he's not gonna be a Mahrez.
What I want to ask you is, are you talking about in a sense of like they get new players in and they challenge next season? Are you talking about that, or are you talking about just
Pep Guardiola will always challenge. This is the blip.
You bring players in and challenge.
Pep Guardiola will always challenge. I've never said that he's not gonna challenge, but the domination that happened over the past 4 years is not gonna. Even over the past 7 years, it's not gonna happen again.
That's fine.
I don't think it's going to happen because, like, that takes time, doesn't it? And getting new players in, it's going to take them a while to even reach something close to that, if you know what I mean. I think he's just going to rebuild the team. And when he gets it in a good position, I think he's going to leave. I don't think he's interested being here anymore. I'm looking at the body language of Pep Guardiola. He doesn't look like a guy who wants to be here anymore. I think he's overstayed. He just don't want to leave the team like Ferguson did with Man United. He just wants to leave them in a good place before he goes. That's what I think. But like you said, Mo, it will take them time to get back to something close to that domination if they're going to do it again. And they're going to have to spend a lot of money as well at the same time. That's how I see it.
And we're willing to spend it. Who cares?
Yeah. And
also, don't forget, last time Pep rebuilt a team, he went from 66 points to 100. So doubt him at your own peril.
Yeah. The only difference is that he had KDB already at that point.
Yeah.
And I think to find another KDB to come in and hit the ground running, like people are talking about what's the German kid's name, the young
Florian Wirtz.
I can't remember.
Wirtz. Musiala.
Wirtz, yeah. Wirtz and Musiala are the two people that and they may well be, and they may come in and step up. When KDB first came in, he came into the league, took it by storm, was unbelievable from day one. Yeah. So I'm not saying that can't happen, but it's not easy for that to happen.
Yeah,
and Wirtz is young. I mean, KDB had obviously been in the Premier League the season before, and then went out back to Germany, and then came back. So
again,
it's not impossible.
Wirtz, so I don't think we're going to sign him. I think he really wants to go to Bayern Munich.
So then Musiala, or because then I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They're the two names that have been touted around in terms of taking that KDB role, because that obviously is quite a unique profile. You need to be. You can always
evolve from KDB, because you'll never have that kind of player again. Just like when KDB.
I have another theory as well.
I think, and we didn't play the same way with KDB as we did with David Silva. We evolved
within the next year. Erling Haaland will go.
You think so?
Erling Haaland will go. I think Rodri might go after Pep. I actually don't think that Pep will stay the 2 years.
I don't think so. The body language has it all, bro.
Yes, exactly. If Pep stays the 2 years, I'll be surprised. And I'm not just saying this as hope. I agree with Fozzy. It doesn't look like he has the patience for it. He looks like he needs a break. And I'm not saying he's going to go to another club. He is tired of going at it every season. He's tired. He looks tired.
He's going to stay another year at least. I don't think he's going to go in the summer.
No.
He ain't going to leave.
And I think it might be a rebuild next year and another manager coming in. I actually think that these guys achieved a lot of things.
That's what Klopp did, right? He signed a 2-year contract, or 2-year extension, but only ended up staying one of those 2 years.
And I think that is what's going to happen, Rak.
Yeah.
And I think that the next year will be a rebuild. And then after this, the problem with the rebuild, I actually feel that Rodri might go to Spain at some point, will be next year or something, go to Barcelona or Real Madrid or whatever.
He is not going to Real Madrid. They disrespected him. He ain't going there.
You know, they're going to make up and kiss and everything is going to be great. It's going to happen. You know how it's going to happen. He might go to Barcelona. I have a feeling that this team is just going to get dismantled a little bit, and there has to be a new rebuild under a new manager. This is why I was very careful about the words. I said, under Pep. You might get the next Pep. You might get the next big thing. Like Liverpool got Arne Slot, and it's working out better than it worked out in the beginning of Klopp's era. Maybe because he has a good team, he's utilizing the players. Maybe you'll be able to get another Pep. Maybe you'll be able to get a manager that will unlock the Savinho, the Dokus. Gavardi will play better even. Rico Lewis will be better. Maybe it's that. But I don't think under Pep, I agree with Fozzy, the body language is not there. This is not a guy that is looking for a complete rebuild, changing a whole system, getting young players and working with them. This is a guy that looks tired and exhausted.
Mo, can you advise us of your body language reading qualifications, please? I'd like to investigate it further. Yeah.
I'm just reading what the guy is talking about.
It's a bit
like a TV show about that back in the day.
Why are you asking me? Fozzy said it first.
It's a bit like what we've seen of Klopp, Rex. You remember when you saw Klopp, like he didn't look the same anymore. We knew he wasn't interested anymore. It's the same. You could just see it.
Oh my God, dear goodness.
But obviously, if City were flying high, top of the league, Pep's demeanor would obviously naturally be more positive, and then people probably wouldn't be saying that, even though he may still have. Like, how much of this is results related, and how much of this is?
No, let me tell you that.
We don't know.
Let me answer you. In the beginning of the season, they were winning games left and right without Rodri, before even Rodri, and every time the talks about the contract, he's delaying it. If he was that happy, right, he would have signed the contract in the summer. Maybe if he was that sure about staying in the city, he would have signed the contract in the summer. Because
even last time when he signed the extension before, he also left it quite late into the final season. If I remember correctly,
because he's not sure. But that tells me he's not sure about staying.
But he did that 2 years ago. So maybe he's going through the same process. Maybe he wants to leave it as long as possible. The process is to wait as long as until you know exactly what the plans are for the following season or next few seasons. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying this pattern of behaviour is the same pattern of behaviour as last time. So I don't think you can necessarily read into it too much.
Let me do this.
I'll see, man.
Fino alla fine forza Juve.
I did it again too long, man.
Thank you, Nafisa. Appreciate you so much. He really wants me to say Forza Juve many times. Someone wants to clip him more. Let's end the year on a positive note. Thank you, Nafisa, for the support. Appreciate you. The Pep Mrs. Klopp, that is the truth.
I think Klopp brought out the best
out of him. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Is that challenge?
What are you guys saying? Arteta's not up for the challenge? Arne Slot is not good enough?
No.
Maybe Arteta doesn't have the mentality, and that's why maybe Arsenal needs to sign Rodri.
Save that for Vader.
Rodri to Arsenal. Bring the mentality with you, please. Oh my God.
They do need it. I think Rodri needs to
Jay saying, what happened to Calvin Phillips, Sinclair, Boney, and also the City spending thing? People are guaranteeing that if City spend, they will come back. I've seen a lot of people say if City spend, they will come back, but they did spend. They spent on Calvin Phillips, on Doku. They spent on a lot of people, by the way.
Also, there's a new sporting director.
It's too early to write Doku off.
Yeah, there's a new sporting director there as well. It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he has, what his talent ID is like, how much of the structure will change going from Cheeky to the guy from Sporting. So
Hugo Viana.
Yeah, Viana.
Let me read this. Ian is saying, Mo, I'm guessing you're one of those people who thought Pep would have left at the beginning of his 10-year City career. Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was supposed to leave after 3 seasons, and his style would never fit England, and blah, blah, blah.
Why was I...
18 trophies later.
I think we have evidence of someone who has left after 3 years, but I'm supposed to read the future in opposite to what all the circumstances that happened before and say they would spend 10 years. Yes, E-Ink. Yes. I don't understand why people don't understand that sometimes you just analyze what happened before and you predict what is coming. And if something else happens, that is called the unexpected. Yeah. Pep staying 10 years at City is the unexpected thing.
Yeah. I don't think anybody
pictured Chad because it was interesting.
None of us did. Yeah.
No one did. But listen, so City are not going to come back to the title. Just let's establish this before we go on and continue this.
You can't establish it. You said, but you said look back to look forward. If we look back, then we've got like a trophy-laden history of Pep's tenure. So if you look forward, you should also have a trophy-laden history moving into the future, according to your logic.
No. I'm talking about this title. No, it's... Rack, he's 14 points behind you and you have a game in hand.
No, okay. If you put him 14
points behind you,
he ain't coming back, Rax. He ain't coming back. 14
points with a game in hand is crazy.
The Premier League was too boring because City won it every year. Isn't this what you wanted?
This is true.
Take a year off. It's okay. The world won't end.
Take two. It's fine. We'll be here when you come back.
Just the one.
No,
do you think if he takes 2? Do you think
you're going to be in the same position in 2 seasons yourself?
Sure.
So enjoy it while you can. Trent's off.
Maybe even sooner. Maybe even sooner.
Time is coming for a couple of your players too, whether you want to believe it or not. So take advantage while you can. No. You're doing a great job so far.
Time waits for no man. I agree.
Do you think if he waits 2 years, Arsenal will win one of them?
If they don't, then dismantle that team.
Okay, I'm just asking.
This is their chance this year.
goodness.
Everyone thought they were going to this year, and well, yeah, I don't think so.
It was their chances
never,
in 2 seasons, and in 2 seasons, like last season before as well, they should have won it. I mean, they were in the title race. They were like top of the league majority of the time as well. Arsenal. When I look at Arsenal, I think they missed their chance. I've got to be honest, because you look at last season and the season before. This is the worst Man City I've ever seen. We faced, Sane's, we faced Raheem Sterling's, we faced Yaya Torres, and they're facing this Man City team, which is just, majority are defenders, and they can't even beat them to a title. I mean, if you can't do that like the past 2 seasons, you're gonna do it, in the future, because Liverpool are picking up, and we are gonna get better. I'm expecting Man City to come back even stronger in the next couple of years as well. So they've had their chance. They had their chance at Arsenal, and
but why don't you think that Arsenal can be stronger? I don't get it.
Listen, I've heard from Arsenal fans, if Arteta doesn't do it this season, he's gone. They're saying so.
They need a striker, and they refuse.
And by the way, he might be even if he's gone, he might get a better manager than him.
Who's a better manager?
To Liverpool.
Maybe.
Why not?
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh no, well, you never knew. You didn't.
Market's kind of.
You didn't expect Arne Slot to be that
good. If you told me about Arne Slot in the beginning of the season, he was in my top 5. He was even in my top
10, so exactly.
I'm being honest.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
So maybe Arsenal will have their.
He's doing a great job.
Maybe they will do the after on a slot. It's PTSD. It's okay, Rax. We're here for you. Bro, I pressed Hussam so much until he admitted it. He kept saying City on the title race. And I kept saying PTSD until he said, yes, it is freaking PTSD.
I don't blame it, man. That Liverpool core that's there right now, they have been through some traumatic title races. Devastating, agonizing losses. I don't know how you do it.
Last point about City. Erling Haaland today scored a goal. When I'm watching the game, he looks different. He's moving outside the box. He's trying to ask for the ball. He's dribbling past players. He's using his body outside of the area. He's trying to get involved in the game. He's not just trying to be a box player. And I think this is different. And I think that Pep Guardiola listened to the fans, listened to the critics, and he's asking him to drop and get involved because he's asking his players to pass him the ball. That is something different. I hope that
Pep Guardiola very happy after the goal as well. I was surprised at how happy he was after the goal. He looked like he had a genuine smile on his face, and he was genuinely happy. So
it's been a rough stretch for him. Yeah, because there'll be games where he'll get chances and he fluffs them, and then there's been so many games recently where he just gets absolutely nothing. So I think him going to get the ball is going to help, because it's kind of clear that this midfield we have right now cannot get the ball to him. They can't even get the ball to the 10 a lot of the time.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne can't pass anymore for some reason.
Yeah. Other crime has come.
I have no idea what happened to his long passes. The guy used to do the diagonal pass with his eyes closed.
He had one of those today that I remember he popped one off to Savinho. But that was the only one I remember. But that's one thing that we're missing terribly this season is the long balls from him and also from Rodri. That's a big part of our buildup. And Kova can't do that. Kova's scared to make a 20-foot pass. He's not that guy. He's doing the best he can, but he's being asked to do a job he cannot do.
I think Haaland needs to continue like this. I think Pep Guardiola needs to keep using the guy like this at 100%.
I loved his game today. Even before the goal, I thought he had a really good first half. He was showing the effort. He was going to get the ball. He was running with the ball. That's what we need.
Looks much better, to be honest. Listen.
Body language was better, too.
I want to move on to Liverpool. Liverpool Football Club. Mohamed Salah closing on Henry to be the best player in the world. Bro, when the Premier League tweets just Mohamed Salah by itself, you know that this is the truth. It's the reality. Seriously, it is absolutely fantastic. He's playing out of this. I think he's going to lead Liverpool to the title. I hope he does, to be honest. I just want the Egyptian guy to win another title. On his slot today.
Do you want him to stay, Mo? Do you want him to stay at Liverpool?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Why not?
Maybe you want to go somewhere else.
To be honest,
I don't know.
Unless, I don't care. No, I don't want him to go to PSG, of course, or Real Madrid or Barcelona, no. Because, listen, I work in the Premier League. It's my job. It's my job to report about the Premier League daily, right? So I want to be reporting about Mohamed Salah. So,
what happens if I'm going to link it to Nafisa's tweet? What happens if we went to Juve or something like that? How would you feel about that?
I won't support him, of course. I will wish that he gets 0 goals.
Juventus gonna pay him like 50 cents a day.
0 goals.
Yeah, no,
Espresso.
Juve, it's not happening to Juve. It's not happening to Juve.
We have no
It's
money.
not Juve, and I cannot pay his wages, to be honest. But listen, a couple of things about this game is that Cody Gakpo and Diaz stepping up. It takes the weight a little bit of Mohamed Salah's shoulder. Arne Slot is utilizing. Me and Fawzi were talking about this yesterday about the depth of Liverpool. You watched Endo today. And by the way, there was false information that was spread yesterday in the show that actually Liverpool fell off because Endo played. It's actually the other way around. Endo started the season very well.
He went to the Asian Cup and then came back different.
And then it came back different because of the Asian Cup.
He looked tired, yeah.
Yeah, but Endo in the beginning of the season was plugging the holes. He was playing well. And I think that today proves that he can be used against 10 teams out of the 9 teams you're going to play. It doesn't have to be a start. It can be a second half. It can be, if you're winning 1-0, he can close shop. He can close that midfield, allow Gravenberch some rest, allow McAllister some rest to make the runnings for them. And that is what I was talking about depth, because people think that Endo is like Cassidy for Chelsea. I'm like, no, he's the 30-something years old player that played in the Bundesliga for years, German international, and is a young Italian that doesn't even have any like experience at all. So for me today, the only problem is Gomez. Gomez injury is going to cost Liverpool.
What happened to him?
Yeah,
Hamstring.
Ooh, that's one you got to be careful with too.
Depends. Apparently, one of the guys on the terrace was saying that Ibu is back in team training. If that's the case, then he's probably not too far away. So if Kwanzaa can get through the next game or two, and Ibu's back, then all good.
Yeah, about Diaz, Gakpo, Curtis Jones, and all these guys. This is the depth that you guys wanted. You wanted these guys to step up. Today's game proves that Diaz can play in the center, in the middle. But I still think the one signing I still think you need is a number 9. Jota's not reliable enough. Injury. You need to go out and get a number 9. But if Gomez is long injury, you need a center back.
I think we could cope without a 9 this season. I don't know if you agree, Rex, like for now, until the summer. I think we could cope with that.
Yeah.
It's just we talked about Endo yesterday, and people came at me thinking like I'm criticizing Endo. What I said, Rex, was when if Gravenberch gets injured, the quality of the midfield will be like going down.
It'll be a problem.
Am I wrong on that, Rex, or do you?
No. If we lost Gravenberch, he's arguably been our best midfielder, or certainly up there. It'll be a problem. Yeah, of course it'll be a problem. We saw last season we had some midfield issues, and we haven't brought any other midfielders in since then. So if Gravenberch was to drop out, then you would be looking at potentially a double pivot of Endo and McAllister. And,
actually, I think he will play Curtis Jones and McAllister. I actually think he's going to play Curtis Jones, McAllister, Szoboszlai.
I don't think so, Mo. I'll tell you why. Because what people misunderstand when they're watching Gravenberch, they think he's a holding midfielder. But if you look at it from a point of view watching Liverpool every time, him and McAllister swap around. Sometimes it's McAllister that stays a holding midfielder. Sometimes Gravenberch stays a holding midfielder. This is how they swap around. And with Curtis Jones, he's not that type of player. I mean, he holds onto the ball for far too long. He dilly-dallies around the box, and they're going to intercept and probably get a chance after that. That's why we don't want him in that role. He's better off like further away from the goal as possible, and which he's doing pretty well, by the way. If you know, I mean, him and Szoboszlai are swapping over, during the season, and it's working out. It's working out. Don't get me wrong, but I can't have McAllister going forward right now until we get a suitable midfielder that's going to play in that role with Gravenberch eventually. I mean, but yeah, like I said, I've got no issues with Endo. I've got no issues with him. I just think the quality drops, dramatically if Gravenberch goes.
I know. I'm not sure if we'll go into the market in January, but I noticed that they started putting out a particular phrase. Which is, I mean, obviously we brought Chiesa, but if an opportunity presents itself, then they'll act. Some people will think that, not to take a negative and say they're not going to buy anyone and they're just putting that out for PR. Yeah. But I think if an opportunity does come up to bring in a player they think may may be able to help, then they will. But otherwise, they won't. Unless it's a particularly good opportunity, they probably won't bring somebody else in. So well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But there may be teams looking to get rid of someone, or for contracts running down or something like that. They may look to capitalize on that if the right player comes up. But I don't know if it will or not. Which
position you guys think is the priority in January? Do you know why it's not? It can't be the DM guys, right? Because what is going to happen to Gravenberch because of Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai's form?
Mm-hmm.
If you get a top DM, okay, so if you get a backup DM, you have Indo. If you go get a top DM, you have to start. For example, if you get let's say you go get what's his name, Zubamendi. Let's go. Let's stop.
Okay.
Let's just now Zubamendi, Gravenberch, and McAllister would start. That is what Sam is saying, and Tom is saying, and everyone is saying. But suppose like Curtis Jones, they're in good form. And I think Gravenberch has already played this season.
Yeah.
This season enough as a holding midfielder or pivot that I wouldn't turn him into an attacking midfielder. You still need someone to play an attacking midfielder.
I just think they'll rotate more. I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll all play. Yeah, because Gravenberch right now, it has played more minutes than he's played in any professional season at this point.
Okay, that's why Indo comes in the picture, not a starting DM.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that if you bring in someone who's, because you also need to think long term. We're not in the summer. If we're looking to bring in a midfielder, we're not looking to bring another backup midfielder because we already have Endo. I imagine we're going to be looking at bringing in better quality. So if that quality player becomes available now, I think that's what they mean when they say they'll act. So I think we should always be looking for good player, the best possible players we can get.
At the right price and the right age as well. You know what I mean? We're not going to go.
What is okay? I always say, what is the hole in this Liverpool team? What is the hole in the team? What is the hole?
So, for example, I'm going to give us an example, but Barcelona have some problems with FFP and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They always find their way out of it, though.
Sure, yeah. But if, for example, Frankie de Jong is, for example, out of favour or something like. If an opportunity came to take Frankie de Jong on loan or do some kind, the thing is, the problem with
Frankie de Jong is great. He's not a starter though.
He's injury
but
prone.
he can come.
I don't know if you'd want to
he could come in and play at an equivalent level. For example, I think.
Can you imagine FSG paying his wages?
No, but this is the issue because he's on a very high wages. But the problem with Frankie de Jong is when his contract does come to the end, no one else is going to pay him those high wages either. So if he's available on no one's going to pay him 350 grand a week wherever he goes. So if he wants to carry it, because he's being frozen out a little bit at Barca, if the opportunity comes to bring him in and we're paying reasonable wages for him and we can get him a reasonable fee, and Barcelona want to get rid of him, maybe that might be the kind of deal we could do. We can take advantage of a situation where players out of favour, where we can get him for good money. He's still got a decent age profile. He's got, can play a good to high ceiling. If all those things can align, then something we may look at.
I think you need a left back. I don't think Robbo can do it.
What is the hole? What is the hole in the starting 11, guys?
Left back.
The first hole.
I've always thought it was a DM, but now I'm starting to get scared.
I think right now it's
the left back position as well. But listen, I could cope with the left back at the moment.
Exactly. Do you know? You guys don't think a striker is the hole?
He could play. Huh?
You guys don't think a striker is a hole?
No,
not really.
We create enough goals without a striker.
We create enough goals, and we score enough goals.
Yeah.
So that's fine for now.
Yeah, I think
your defense would be the only. I mean, as good as a defense. Like I said, I think teams are going to target Robertson as things get.
We
get deeper into like competitions and stuff. Like, my impression of the whole season on Robertson is when Saka just absolutely skinned him, and I was like, there's a lot of quality wingers out there that can do that.
Listen, Tsimikas can hold his own. You know, I mean, when Tsimikas came on against Saka, he played pretty well as well. I'm not a guy. I'm not a person that slates Tsimikas. I think Tsimikas can do a job. You know, I mean, in that position as well. And if Gomez obviously comes back fit, he could play that role as well. So we've got enough, backup in that position, in my opinion, anyway. For now, until the summer, of course.
Yeah, I don't think there's a massive gulf between Tsimikas and Robertson. I think you could argue it either way. The Robertson's better than Tsimikas better than Robertson. Ultimately, you probably do need to strengthening that area, but I don't think that will necessarily happen. Or at least I don't know if there's been any real links. And people talked about Kirkes and stuff like that, but he's still relatively young.
What about
I
Jedi
can't see.
Robinson on Fulham?
I'm
not for me. I don't know what it is. Something just
I'm not a big fan of his, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's American. He's an American Scouser.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't want him to go there because I want him to come to Man City, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to come to us.
A lot of people like him. A lot of people like him. I have, from what I've seen of him, I haven't been super impressed. But a lot of people who probably watch him more closely are very complimentary of him. So
I think he's going forward, but I don't know enough about him defensively. That's what I don't know enough about. You know what I mean? I see him more as a wing back when he plays for Fulham at the moment. Imagine he's playing in the role at Liverpool. Would he be, following the rules that we have in that defense? Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, man. I have to see more of him to, be more, understanding of his game. I think, just now, it's just too much attacking that's going on. That's all I see of him. But Kirkes at Bournemouth, I could see him.
Your best bet is Robinson. I know you disagree.
Nah.
He's the most.
Very nicely.
He is the best balanced left back in the league. Defends really well. Go forward very well.
Yeah, I think he has the most tackles.
Why don't you like him?
I just think he goes too forward. It's too much forward going.
He's American like me, bro. Just support my American guy.
You've never watched USA play. But Jedi has been our best player for quite some time.
He's fantastic. I would love to see Robertson in a big club, other than Man United and Man City. That's fine. Anyone else?
We're allergic to signing left back, so we're not going to sign him.
It's because they're irrelevant. That's different. I didn't even, by the way, on MHF on here, I didn't even put Spurs in that. With all due respect to all my Spurs viewers, I didn't even put Spurs in the title. I didn't put Spurs in the thumbnail. I just don't care.
Let's go.
Mo Salah is unplayable right now. First Muslim and Arab to win Ballon d'Or. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Benzema's a Muslim.
Yeah.
Karim Benzema's Muslim. I know he's French, but he's Muslim.
Hold on. And Zinedine Zidane is Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Nafisa, you kind of just take an L here with the super chat, to be honest.
Should take half of it.
First Arab though. First Arab.
Yeah.
Is right.
Zinedine Zidane is Algerian.
Karim
Benzema is Arab. The fact that they play for France is different. They play for France is different than being Arab, but they are. His name is Karim, and the other guy is Zinedine Zidane, so definitely Arabs. And the won Ballon d'Or. So you pledge your allegiance to France in the national team is different than being Arab or non-Arab, to be honest. So they're both Arabs. So here we go. So Nafisa, that's like you took 2 L's here, but he's unplayable right now, which is what we're going to talk about.
Oh,
he's the best player in the world right now.
Even though I love Mo, thank you so much, Jay. I still think it's that's not me. I think it's wasteful forward. Oh, he's talking about Mo Salah. Okay, you can get 4 1-on-1s and get 1 goal. That's what Nunes does, and he's not good enough.
I mean, look. Ultimately, if you're missing those chances but still winning, then you can let it slide. The problem would come is if we miss those chances and we drew or we lost, like we did on several occasions last season. To be fair.
Yeah.
That's when, because remember, people forget at the end of last season, people were criticizing Mo, saying he's done for, he's on a downward spiral. Like the last 10, 12 games of the last season, there was a lot of criticism. There was a lot of questioning about whether he's done at Liverpool. So, but we're at a point right now where we're missing those chances, but winning handsomely. And in those circumstances, you'll get away with it. The problem will come in the Champions League is a lot less forgiving though. So if we have these situations in the Champions League, in a way, there's no, we know what happened when we played Atletico a few years ago. We absolutely dominated them for the whole time, certainly the game at Anfield, and they beat us. And that was an absolute travesty. So we just need to be a bit careful. So Jay's right to some extent, I agree. But I still say I love Mo.
I'm not FSG fan, but they always spend in January, expect for 3, and one of them, they try everything to get Naby Keita and also try to get Konate, but Leipzig didn't want to.
Didn't they get sign Gakpo in January?
Yeah.
Yep.
They got him.
Yeah.
They got Suarez in
2
January.
years ago.
We're not adverse to buying players in January.
I think they got Van Dijk too.
Yeah.
And Van
We
Dijk.
wouldn't pay the
We had to
fee.
wait for that one,
We
yeah.
wouldn't
That
pay
was
Van Dijk's
that was
fee.
also due to our own fuck up though, because what's his name? One of the
James Pearce.
one of the directors.
I'm just gonna tell you guys something. Like, if FSG don't spend in January and you end up not winning the fucking league, there should be our rights at Liverpool. It should be our rights at
Rex,
Liverpool.
what do you
It should be.
stand with that?
I'm gonna say, Fuzi, you go to the stadium. I know you're a
know
season
me,
ticket holder.
I'm out anyway with them, but I don't.
Like
I want to know where Rex
seriously,
stands.
there should be a boycott because this is a golden opportunity, bro. This opportunity might not come again with that much gap in January, and you're out there. Your manager is cooking. It might not show up. Like, you might not see this opportunity again.
That's
When
kind
was
of
the
what
last time?
takes.
It was 1920, but you were on 53 points after 19 games or something. Some kind of weird. You dropped only points in one game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we dropped points, 2 points to Man United away, and we won
in 19 games.
The
right?
runs. Yeah, we ran the ran started from the season before, so we won 18 games in a row, drew one, and then won 19 games in a row, or it was 17 and 18 or something like that. So it was an incredible run. We had something like out of a possible 109 points, we had 107 points.
Whew.
Yeah.
So that's why, Fuzi,
Fuzi,
can you tell us a little bit about the feeling in the stadiums with FSG, please? Can you enlighten us about how people feel when you talk to the mates, when you go there, and how do you guys talk about FSG?
From what I can see, it's a split.
A big topic of
they are split. There's some people that love them for what they did for us. They saved us, and from administration and all that stuff. And there's some fans that say, they got to be supportive when Klopp was here, and they haven't been supportive. It's just split in two. But the thing is, I think now, if things go in the other direction, I think the people that's in the middle, the people that's sort of supportive, they'll come to the other side. I honestly think that, because if we don't win the league this season, I honestly think that there's a big problem. I don't know about you, Rax, as well, and the rest of the panel. If we don't win the league this season, I think there's a big problem.
Yeah, I said that.
And if we don't strengthen in January, because injuries are always going to come. That's part and parcel of Liverpool Football Club. That's what we lost the league last season. Injuries started happening, Liverpool started dropping off. If we don't back up these players that's there right now with the right replacements for them, then we're gonna struggle in the league. Don't forget, I think one stage a few seasons ago we was 14 points behind City, and you can't be caught. You can't be caught, and we only 1 point behind them at the last game of the season. So yeah, we've got to prepare ourselves better at this time. Learn from past mistakes. That's what teams do. If you've been in this situation before, make sure you don't go back to those situations again. That's how I see it.
But your ownership will never change until the season, the fans in the stadium start having something against them.
No, they would just sell the team then.
Yeah, we're in a brilliant position now.
John Henry is a hedge fund manager. He's like, Liverpool's just an investment for him. He's not there for passion. He's there to grow an investment.
We know that. I mean, but this position now we're in, you got to take it with both hands. You got to run away with it. We could be so good. We could be so good this season. We could be way clear of everybody else and just concentrate on the Champions League. That's how good we could be this season, and people don't even acknowledge that. That's what I don't understand.
A lot of money for Liverpool. If Liverpool when City won the treble, they made 300 million.
Look at that.
Winning trophies gets you a lot of cash. But he might just want it as a dividend. He might not necessarily
made 300 million. Sorry, Cal. Sorry, I had
but
to
Rex,
do that.
where do you stand with that, bro? Like, from your side, you know how I feel. You see me right about it every time. You know how I feel, Rex. You know what I mean?
No. Look. I mean, my history and my opinions on FSG go back quite a while. I've been supportive of them in the past, and then I've also been critical of them. For example, recently when they were looking to sell the club, I was like, if you don't want to be the owners of Liverpool Football Club, as far as I'm concerned, you can fuck off. Like, if you're not committed to me, why should I be committed to you? Similarly, other things that they've done, I understand the way they run the club up until now. I have some issues. I think more recently there have been big opportunities where we should have invested and we haven't. And I understand, like, during COVID and things like that, where lots of teams were losing money, there were no fans in the stadium and all this stuff. I understand why they didn't spend money, because ultimately none of us knew when fans were going to be allowed back in that stadium. That whole period, people seem to have ignored that. And when you lose, 100 and 120 million out of your potential turnover, obviously that potentially has a big impact on the amount of money you can spend. But at the same time, when fans started coming back in the table into the league, there's an opportunity because there were other clubs out there who were looking to sell players because they had bigger financial shortfalls to make up. And look, I own my own company, I own a business, and sometimes you need to invest in that business. You can't just simply plod along without taking some additional risk. And when the opportunity arises, you need to be able to take risks. And they have shown that sometimes. I think the last summer they should have invested more. I think there were holes in our squad, and we didn't fill them. And the season before, we brought in some midfielders, but we let Hendo go and we let Fabinho go, and we didn't bring in a defensive midfielder apart from Endo. For me, that was pretty shit, to be honest. So, but at the same time, I like the fact that they run the club in a sustainable manner, and I think that's how football clubs. I think that's how football clubs should be run.
I mean, they did try to get Caicedo, and I was shocked they were going to spend 100 million on him, but he didn't want to come. That's very
but the thing is, Kelk, they had another season to buy Caicedo, didn't they? And they still didn't buy him. Someone
it's shocking in the sense that it's a lot of money, but they've shown in the past that when the right player comes up, and if they think that player is a needle mover, like with Virgil and like with Alisson, they're willing to put really, really big money behind it. So I think, but obviously with the situation Caicedo, it didn't happen because of the relationship that he built up with Chelsea during the negotiation period. And but then at the same time, I think we wanted to try and be smart about it. And if sometimes when you be smart, you can win the day, and sometimes you won't. Like, I think the idea was we wanted to come in there. Brighton set their deadline. We want a final offer by this day. We came in there, nicked Chelsea, got a 5-10 million offer higher, and in theory, if Brighton stuck to their guns, then potentially he could have come to us. But then ultimately the player put his foot down because he'd been talking to Chelsea, and it didn't happen. So
Chelsea put more work into it.
What about this opportunity now, Rex? Like the opportunity we've got right now. Where do you stand with that?
I think that if the right players are out there that can strengthen us in those positions, we should do everything we can to get them. And I always think there's good players out there. I don't know who they are specifically. But I agree. If people look, if we lost the league, it will be an absolute disaster. I'd be devastated. So I want them to do everything they can. As a fan,
I don't think you'll lose the league, though.
I don't think so, but still. But
that is the problem. I don't think you'll lose the league, and that will strengthen their position of not investing.
No, because Mo, they're not. The thing is, they don't take money out of the club. They're not extracting funds. They're not taking dividends or anything like that. So they run on a self-sustaining basis. So they're not pocketing the money. They'll pocket the money when they sell the club, which is fine, I guess. That's as long as they run the club successfully and we become more successful, then fair enough. We as fans can't control everything, but I just want them to do the maximum that they can to put the best team on the pitch so we can win as much as we can. And I think we have an opportunity this season. Obviously, we're in a really, really good position to win the league. But we have an excellent opportunity now to win the Champions League as well. We're one of the best teams in Europe. When you're one of the best teams in Europe, you have a say in where that Champions League goes, and we need to try and take advantage of it as much as we can.
Can we end the show before did I not say we should end on a positive note? I don't know why. Somehow the jokes about Arsenal, they just hit different. I don't know why. Like, it's just a joke, Nafisa. Just don't take it seriously. Seriously, she's just lovely. He was talking to us on me and Osam on MHF. She came on the channel just to cook me. I know that
I gotta listen to the replay on that.
Rak will have to go to Igal in a few minutes. I know that for a fact. Vibes from the 6. Listen, the last thing I wanted to speak about is Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Before we go on and a lot, is this the time? A lot of Liverpool fans are saying, give him the money. Do you guys think Liverpool should tie him for a big contract for 3 years? Does he deserve that much? A 400K? A lot of people saying it's too much for a 32 years old. Yes, you're giving us goals and everything, but we can invest that money somewhere else. And the majority, to be honest, are saying, no, give him the money. He's going to play. like this. There's no theory. I don't know if there's any 32 years old having these numbers ever in the history of the Premier League.
I can't. I've been here since day one. I can't remember that either, to be fair.
No, I think I want Mo to stay, and I think a 2-year contract is reasonable. His last extension was for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
But again, like I said, at the end of last season, the last 10, 12 games of last season, it was also a function of the team because the team wasn't performing well. But Salah's numbers had dropped, Salah's performances had dropped, right? And and then all of a sudden he's back. So I want him to stay. I think 2 years is fine. Let's give him, I'm okay with him being on the same money or even more money. But the things I don't want him to go. Obviously, none of us want him to go. So it's,
let
me say something.
Before you go on, Tyler, did you hear what Rack just said? His form has dipped. You were offered 200 million for him. Okay, he was offered, I think, 5 times his wages. And I said, it's good for him to go to Saudi Arabia and make the money. And Liverpool at that time, 200 million pounds at that time, when his form dipped, looked like a lot of money. Looked like tons of money.
You could buy 4 players with that. Yeah, man.
And no one expected, and by the way, for everyone to say, I told you so, he should stay. I guarantee you, 99.9% did not expect Salah to have a season like this.
No.
Fuzzy, oh my God.
No, I'm joking. I did it. I'm joking.
Yeah, but Tyler, that's in hindsight.
I said that crystal ball out.
I said, like,
Fuzzy's not going to give us the lottery numbers for next week.
Give us.
But only to me.
But this is why, Tyler, I respond to you and say, at that time, number one, his wages in Saudi Arabia looked astronomical.
It was mad.
Right? It was crazy. The money that was offered for a 31 years old was ridiculous. 200 million is crazy money. It's crazy money. You can really rebuild the whole squad for 200 million at that time. And his form dipped. His form dipped. So I still think I was within my rights to say, I think Salah should go. Go ahead before I do Jay's last super chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, with me, like with Mo Salah, I don't think we're gonna get any money for him now. You know what I mean? So let him self-terminate. Let him decide when he wants to like leave Liverpool. Like what Firmino did. Firmino, it was as honest as you can get. You know that, Rax. He's a brilliant guy, brilliant player. They offered him a contract. He said, no, I can't do it anymore, boss. It's time to go. Let these youngsters come through and take my place. Let him self-terminate like that. Him and Van Dijk haven't dropped their form right this season. They've been the best players in the Premier League defensively and offensively. So let them, decide if it's 2-year extension contract. Why not? He hasn't done anything wrong to not deserve that. So let him have that. And, the way he's playing now is Ballon d'Or status. He's in that, Ballon d'Or talk for next season. So let him have that 2-year contract extension and see what happens in the future. If he thinks like his form is dropping, let him decide, if he wants to leave eventually. That's what I say.
I think they will sign him. I think they will sign him. I think they'll give him.
100%.
Jay, the last super chat said FSG are not bad owners if you want to in and round it, but they are not win at all costs. FSG makes some fans think Liverpool are poor. That song Gridman has no money, but we are still in the league. I hate it. That's the reality. But I'm going to tell you something, Jay. The problem with what happened in the league is that there is Roman Abramovich and there is the Gulf owners, the Arab owners. These people want to win at any cost. Listen, Fawzi was in Saudi Arabia before. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. These guys will spend money and they will lose money just to win. American funds, and American people, British people that have companies behind them are corporates. They will not spend to win because there are audits. There are people behind them that ask him, where is this money going? The Saudis, Abramovich, nobody stopped Abramovich from spending his money because nobody asked Abramovich, where are you spending your money? Yeah. But if John Henry decided to spend money tomorrow and lose money, he's going to be under audit because the companies have stocks and it's not just his. That's why people need to understand, Jay. And I get it why they don't spend, because at the end, this is just an investment. There is ins and outs, there is expenditures, and that's all they care about. It's all about the
same
balance
thing
of the
with
sheet.
his American baseball team, and I've been following them for decades, and they've let so many top players go because they don't want to pay them.
We have some owners like this in America where they own their companies and they spend billions on football teams and baseball teams. But these people are not like hedge funds and stuff like this. There is nobody to ask them. I think the people that work in business know this. There's nobody that will audit them, that will ask them, why did you spend that money? You didn't need to. You didn't have to. That is the difference. And I think that is John Henry. Jeriak is saying, Mo Salah has won everything at the club level. It's time to slow down and win a trophy with Egypt.
Oh, he came so close at the previous AFCON.
Jeriak, him taking us to the World Cup is a trophy for us. We waited 30 years to go back to the World Cup, and idiot Sergio Ramos broke his shoulder right before the World Cup in the Champions League final. You're muted.
One thing I will say, you may not like this, but if I was Richard Hughes and the people negotiating Mo Salah's contract, one of the things I would ask him to do and maybe insist is that he quits international football.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
To prolong his career. That's what
I'm absolutely for it. I don't care as much about Egypt national team for other reasons apart from football, and I would be for it if the guy is gonna play for Liverpool, score goals and do stuff and just raise that Egypt flag. And I know I've been to Liverpool, and I know how people love him there.
They love him.
And if he's gonna make the image of the country better, it's better than playing for the national team. That's the reality. To be honest. But listen, people,
go, guys. Peace.
Big up, Rex, man.
I'm gonna just finish the show. Thank you, Rex, for being here. I know you have to go to Igal. Appreciate you so much. I'm actually gonna redirect to Igal. Just for the sake of it. I'm gonna redirect to Igal. Fuzi, brilliant show. Absolutely fantastic and amazing. Fantastic. I want to thank you so much. Kelk, great. You won a game.
Yay, we won a game.
Man City started losing when she started showing up to YouTube, but that's fine. just not going to tell anyone. We're not going to tell anyone, Kelk. We're not going to tell anyone.
I won't be on YouTube next weekend, so maybe we'll win again. Who knows?
Maybe you'll win. But listen, I want to appreciate everyone that is here. Thank you guys for joining us. This show will take you to Igal. Go and support the man. He's working very hard. He's Avrax and Ahmed and all the guys. It's a brilliant show. Go and support them. I will see you guys soon. And we're out of here, people. See you guys.
Take care, guys.
Take care.